The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
This executive order is for the Ceiling Fan Man show on YouTube on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Everyone needs to watch it.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
Get ready, so get set, so hang on, so buckle up, so sit tight, so strap yourself in, so brace yourself, so keep your eyes open, so fasten your seatbelt, so stick around, so hang on, so get ready. You just have to be ready. Brace yourself. What you're about to see will open your eyes. The surprises never stop, so you better hang on. So get ready, so fasten your seatbelt, so hold on tight, so hang on, so get ready to get ready, and get ready to get real.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, brought to you by Ceiling Fan Man. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Today's episode, How Pandas Are Made.
Panda!
Satellite tracking continues.
You're all individuals! Yes, we're all individuals!
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the fair use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I say, moo.
up this morning really early. I walked around outside. It was pitch black. I stood there saying, I wonder where the sun went. And then it dawned on me.
Satellite tracking continues.
Why am I so small here? Let's see. My show should be large and in charge. There. Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. It's a Friday night. We made it. Whoop, whoop. You're on the correct side of the grass. Pat yourself on the back. We made it again. So, man, I tell you, this week, not only has it flown by, I felt like I was just up in this chair not too long ago. It's been a week. But in addition to that, so much has gone on. And so we got a lot to talk about, and I'll get right into that. But let me just say, dear Lord, please continue to watch over us and guide us through these times. They are getting quite rocky, and we need your help and guidance and your comfort more than ever. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Just felt pretty important show tonight. It's not something you just clickety-click about. Where is he? Here he is.
Clickety-click.
Oh, hey, everybody. Good to be seen by you all. It's a decent hair night. I'll take it. Looks good. There. Okay, now we're perfect. So, yeah, quite a bit's gone on, and I've got lots to talk about, and it's pretty wild because last week before the show, I spend, like, as soon as this show's over, I'm going to start, like, reading through stories and sending myself clips and stuff to potentially put a show together for the next Friday. And I remember last week there was like nothing going on, and I was lamenting to my wife saying, this is ridiculous. There's nothing to talk about, and wow, it's not that I wished for it, but man, excuse me. Oh, hey, Barb. But yeah, a lot's gone on this week, and I feel like there's royalty here. There's a few people that I know, Barb and Milano and Voynich. That's some royalty right there. So good to see you. Of course, I see. This isn't Romper Room Magic Mirror. I see Rose and Trish Clark, and no, but and this person here. I apologize. I do not know how to say that. But welcome. It's nice that you're here, and yeah. So that's a new avatar, I guess is what the name is. I'm not necessarily familiar if you've been here before. So I see Jan in here, and yeah, so this is great. I don't even, where do I start? Start by, first of all, I'll get, like, as my friend, my YouTube coexist friending person, Cult of Con says, let me get the shilly stuff out of the way. Part of it, I also want to thank people. We get not just emails, which I love because I love discussing things, and people send me things for the show and so forth. So it's very helpful there. But also I have a regular address that I get snail mail, as they call it, the post office. And I just have to give a shout out to Terry because, man, we went to the post office and, they brought up my generation just thinking the only thing you find there is bills and junk mail. And we go there, and unbeknownst to me, I mean, he said he's sending something, but he sent this. Look at it. It's got Sarah on it. And there's two. There's one. This is my wife's. Looks way better on her, but it does look kind of like a Carhartt. So I might end up stealing that one. I don't know, but aren't those adorable? And then there's also a purse in there. So, and some little treat for Sarah too. So God bless you, Terry. He sends a lot of scary space news my way too. But thank you for that. And anybody that is supporting the channel, you can see there's links, there's PayPal's, Cash App, this, whatever you want to call this. Some people, oh, now I messed up the hair for real. Some people call this a ministry. I just say it's a show, and it basically works off of you all. And so all the loving people that are members and donated and are Patreons and all that, God bless you all. It all helps in keeping this all going. So thank you for that. And I also want to make a mention to the soap people, because my wife also has a soap store. Clickety click. I'm in charge of shipping and advertising, and advertising would be here. That's the store. And those are the soaps that she makes. All handmade here. Just wonderful. Best soap. Oh, she's got some sold out. Look at that. Best soaps you'll ever use, and natural products and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a few dollars here and there. It helps. But there's all the orders have gone out. Except there's one person I know. I think she's been in contact with you. There was 10, it's one of the largest. Is that probably not if the largest, one of the largest stores. It was 10 bars of soap, and the post office lost it. And so we just found this out. And so I'm letting you know that she said tonight to tell you that she's going to redo it, making new soap. And I'll fight the post office on that, getting the money out of them. But yeah, so isn't that something? So and here's a wild thing that I was thinking about with the post office is that it used to be, now I'm sounding like the old person, but it used to be stamps were, say, like whatever, 25 cents. I definitely remember. And then they started raising a penny here, penny there, and you'd notice it. But then they came out with the forever stamp whenever they did that. And so the key there is you could buy them and they'll be forever good no matter how high they raise them. But it also, what it did was, it's diabolical because none of us kept up on the price of stamps. Like I wasn't even familiar because I had forever stamps. They're like almost I think it was like 78 cents, wasn't that, hon? Something like that. Yeah. So isn't that interesting? So I don't even know how I got off on that tangent. We got too much to talk about anyways. God bless you. Look at this, Jeannie Connor. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate saying that I'm the best show on YouTube. That's sweet. So what do I? He is, yes. Here.
That's very true.
So yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what's been going on there. And I did have one other thing that goes along with that, was that when we opened the box, I showed Sarah the bag and she seemed impressed. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure what's going through her mind. Did she think that, like, did we use her likeness without her permission? I'm not quite sure. So there's a small little envelope, looks like from some kind of feline lawyer that appeared under the doorstep. So I'll check that out. So hopefully we didn't get in trouble with Sarah. But okay, enough of that. Let's get into some discussions here, because as I don't know if you noticed, I have way more tabs than I should once again. And so hopefully we'll get through all those. Okay. Oh, but I forgot to do it with the music. That's share screen. Clickety click. Here. Here. Oh yeah, and if anyone just walking in the room at this point, you'll be tardy. But after that, thank you. Okay, so these are the last few showing up. Hey, Jason, showing up. Thank you very much for your support too. And okay, so I think everyone that was going to be late is now here. So, yeah, she thought it was her. I'm thinking, yeah. Let's go tabs. Okay, let's go to the tabs. All right, so let's see. And Connor, I'll probably have you on again. I had to wait a little bit. You were a pretty hot temperature in your last few shows. So you're doing great work. It's very exciting to watch and nerve-wracking sometimes. All right. So I wanted to bring this up because this has been one of thank you, Wendy. I just saw you gifted some memberships. God bless you. And I'm going to do more things for the members. I also, by the way, I have Connor. He won and it wasn't rigged, but he won a bear that I have to sign. But our week was really crazy along with everyone else's, but we had personal stuff going on too. And so we didn't get time to get the whatever scarf or something for me because I can't write on a bear. You just can't do it. So you and I think still Prill. So I'm still working on it. They're sitting back there. They haven't left. So they haven't moved, I don't think. That's not like a horror movie like Chucky. But all right. So I just thought I'd bring this up because it's a whirlwind of news that came through this week. Amazing amount of news showed up this week. Everyone seemed to stop worrying about Cracker Barrel. Isn't that funny? Remember, that's what I'm saying. There was really nothing going on for a while because that's what was, irritating people back then. And as it turns out, so I don't know if that lady is still in charge, but she cost him a ton of money because she decided to take a restaurant that looked like this, and you can see the people that like to eat here, and turn it into more of a yuppie feel, and get rid of the logo. And of course, it didn't go well. And so not only did they apologize and bring back the logo, but all the stores that hadn't been converted will stay this way, and all the ones that were converted to this are going to get reconverted. Isn't that nuts? So, but yeah, don't you miss those days when we were bitching about Cracker Barrel? So, yeah. Okay. And then, of course, we just passed the anniversary. It was a week ago. We were all upset about that, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so, it was the anniversary of that terrible day in September. And, to commemorate it, I wanted to remind everyone that the year after it went down, they did this weird, I don't know what you would call it. Here, let's speed this up. It's going to take forever. This is what they did at Ground Zero. I've seen a lot of videos of cattle doing this in circles and odd ways and stuff, but it basically forms an eye, they say. So that went down. So, that's how they immortalized it the year after it happened, of course. So nothing to see there. And the fact that it was built in 1968 and came down in 2001, which is 33 years. Purely coincidences. There's a lot of that with that number, though. It's interesting. So, and then, why it even happened, because James Cameron warned us in Terminator 2. This is actually a scene from it. I think the Simpsons did too. But no one was listening, of course. No one ever listens to the prophets of our time. And so it went and happened anyways. That really was the best Terminator movie. I mean, I only count the first two. The rest of them, forget it. And then, of course, there was also, don't forget, they attacked the Pentagon. And, man, the planes that they made back in the day, they just dissolved with heat. It's just incredible. So, yeah, you had a plane that went into the Pentagon. And, of course, the Pentagon, where they They have no cameras. I think then they come out with like 1 or 2 angles of the quote plane. And then what's going on down there, everybody? You gotta calm down. I'm doing a show here. Hey, hon, you go find out what they need to kill. He's coming in here barking now. So yeah, so the one thing they never found here were plane pieces because they just disintegrated back in those days. The planes we're building now are much stronger, I guess, except the ones that actually brought down that other stuff because they were damn strong. They went right on through. You could see the nose on the other side. Fascinating physics. And then, of course, don't forget the plane that went down in Shanksville, and once again from the heat. Everything I believe even the body's disintegrated. It's just like a burnt out cavern. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know, pretty wild wacky stuff that we're immortalizing. And yeah, CGI, I don't know what is that all about, but all right. And don't forget that after that, they introduced the Patriot Act, of course. And why am I showing these? Because these are actual paintings in Epstein's house. And I'll never forget this one when I showed it to someone when it came out, because it came out on, the counterculture Twitter feed, YouTube land or whatever. I don't know, 6 months or a year before it actually came out on the regular, quote, regular news. And the person that I showed this to that got really offended apologized to me later. Yes, I was right, of course. But and then, of course, we have Bush playing with his 2 planes and his broken Jengas. So nothing to see here, just more coincidences. The devil in the blue dress. Yeah. And if you're old enough to know what that is all about, do you know they had a because they have the Reagan Library out in California where I used to visit a lot, and they had the presidential things go through there or whatever from time to time. And this dress was actually on display as part of, that exhibit. It's nuts with the stain on it and everything. It's really crazy. It's like, I can't even describe what I'm talking about. Go look if you're not old enough, go look into what went on with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky and whatever went down or who. Okay, if I'm going to do that, I have to give myself, where is he? So whatever went down there or who. Yeah. This poor woman, I mean, that's all she's ever known for the rest of her life. She could be 85 years old. She could have cured cancer. And they'd be like, and the cure for cancer, Monica Lewinsky. And everyone would go, you know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, I would have shaved my head a la Britney Spears and changed my name or something. Got out of Dodge, but no, I don't know what's going on with these people. So you remember Monica Goldenburn? Yeah, and I bet Clinton does too. Both Clintons. So, all right. So there's that. And wow, this is all huge there. There we go. And so the Onion, which we've always known was fake news on the internet, now says we've officially decided to fold after Mike Johnson announced that Trump was an FBI informant on the Epstein case. We can no longer compete with the reality of this administration. Sincerely, the Onion. And you remember, I kind of had breaking news on that they announced that Trump was actually working as an undercover FBI agent, a trans agent, as Rocky Shepard says. So, yeah, so there you go. The Onion quit. From the way that this last, I'd say 7 years have gone, the Onion probably should have quit a long time ago because you can't get any more ridiculous than what's happening in quote real life. So, okay. So let's see. Let me get back over to this. And the NRA accidentally forgot to rise up against the tyrannical government. And so an embarrassed NRA says they forgot to do the one thing that they've been saying for years it's their duty to solely do. That's all they're there for. They had one purpose. He only had one job, and they suck at it because we know all this stuff is being put upon us by how do we get around it on YouTube land? But just crazy psychopaths that do nasty things and worship Satan. How about that? That's one way of putting it, I guess. But they all work together, and that's been the way it has been for years. And unfortunately, always will be. There's always going to be some government over you. It just depends on who you can get in there. If they're actually ever going to help us. Here's how about this. Protesters in Nepal overthrew their government in less than 48 hours because their government was corrupt. See, I'm not inciting any of this. I'm just talking about the news. But America, they always talk about when they went and said you have to close your businesses, stay at home, don't kiss your mother, don't touch your dog, and do all these other things. And everyone was just like, can I keep my guns? They're like, oh, yeah. They're like, fine. And then they went and did it. They just completely complied. Didn't matter how many guns everyone had. They complied. But these people over in Nepal, they got fed up and they burned down Parliament. Like, is gone, or at least it's in process of. And of course, what I see when I look at this is, there's an old world building that they're destroying because it fits the narrative that they can get rid of evidence and allow them to do this. And so this thing's on fire. And they burnt it down. And here's another one. Look at this. Oh, no, it set off the fire alarm. Look at that. And everyone's just standing around filming it. And the thing is every video I've ever seen, it's already on fire. And everyone's just standing around filming it. I never actually saw who it was. Now they're probably around there somewhere that actually did it. But then this one is straight out of Mission Impossible. I couldn't believe this. This theater movie, whatever we call it, life you want to watch that we're watching. Okay. Shoot. That made me choke him. Oh, I have to stop because that was too funny. Where is he? Welcome to the party, Nepal. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's fantastic. I used to have that drop. If I had it, I'd play it right now. So, yeah. In fact, that was the one thing when my dad was still alive. And he did one of those near-death experiences. So he and I used to have some amazing talks. And when I started showing him, say, like the Mandela effect, and it was really messing with him, I said, welcome to the party, pal. And then he used to share that meme with me and send that picture of Bruce Willis saying that. So it's good to see that again. Thanks, Matt. Mad Fab. And it looks like there's I can't quite tell. You're touching the headlight of a kind of a cool car, maybe? I'm not sure. It's kind of small to see, but welcome. Thank you for that. I know what I was going to do. I was going to give you that. That was a long time in coming to that, but there you go. That made me laugh. Welcome to the party, Nepal. And it's true. And so this is great. So right out of Mission Impossible, we were talking Die Hard. Look at this. So the Nepalese, is that how you say that? The minister and his family, they escaped on a rope dangling from a helicopter. Dun, 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 dun. Da, 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 da. Dun, dun. I mean, what is this, Mission Impossible 12? I mean, look at this. Isn't that something? So that's fantastic. So that's what's going on in Nepal. But wait, there's more. Because see, as the show goes on, as I was waiting to get the show started, I kept getting more news. So apparently what it is Gen Z are the heroes of this story. And you hang off a helicopter all the time, Shedred. But and who can have the arm strength to hold on? You know what I mean? I don't know. I would have probably, unfortunately, not made it. I'd have to do some more pull-ups or something. But so Gen Z is the hero of this story. And so not only did they burn down Parliament and overthrow government, but they also had time to, like, of course, do TikTok moves like they do out here in the United States. And so they filmed themselves doing all kinds of dances and TikTok videos. Is this nuts? This is what we've become. This the world has lost its mind. I don't understand even what I'm seeing some of this. It just looks like, I think AI is writing our movie now. This is really our show. This is really the worst season yet. It's very chaotic and none of it makes sense. Now they're playing Uno, and which, by the way, did you know everyone's playing Uno wrong? If you look at the actual instructions of Uno, you can never have like 100 cards in your hand. You can only have, I think, like an extra 2 or something. Go look at the instructions. It's pretty wild. And Uno even came out and said, I don't know where you all got this from, but that's not the rules. They even came out and said that. So a lot of people say it was Mandela or whatever. But yeah, there's never been a rule where you get multiple cards, end up with, and draw 2 numbers. So anyways, if you even know what I'm talking about. Okay. And then, but wait, there's more. So apparently I saw this. It's in Nepal, in Gaza, let's see, Indonesia, Nepal, Gaza, Italy, and France. And they're all raising this flag as a symbol of defiance, I guess, or overthrowing the government. And it turns out it's from a Japanese anime cartoon that became a series on Netflix, I think, even called One Piece. And so Gen Z in Nepal is burning down the parliament, literally, and replacing it with flags of One Piece. This thing. It's a massive Japanese media franchise created as a manga. That's one letter off of MAGA. That's funny. In 97. And yeah. And so it's like the legendary pirate king Gold D. Rogers executed. And I don't know. You can read all up on it. There's a monkey involved and something. I don't know. But yeah, so he gets the properties of rubber after eating the devil's fruit. Huh. So let's get this straight. So he eats a bad fruit and something weird happens to him and they have to fight in the showdown, whatever. I'm out. But anyways, that's what's going on there in Nepal. And so then what happened right as the show was starting, I'll hit you with this. Where is it? Clickety click. Shoot. I can never find him. Here he is. Breaking news with Ceiling Fan Man. Take it away, Ceiling Fan Man. Thank you, Ceiling Fan Man. It's as good as this show gets. So hope you weren't expecting more than this. Breaking news. They've picked a new prime minister of Nepal, and it's the first female prime minister. Her name is Shashulia Karaki. I butchered that. And they chose her on Discord. So they've elected an official to a country on Discord. Now, I don't know about you, but Discord, if you're watching, I don't know who watches me. Everyone still seems to watch me, but I don't know who else is watching me. But if you're the president of Discord, this should be your next commercial. Well, if it's good enough to elect a high-ranking official of a country, it's good enough for your company or whatever, right? They just elected him on Discord, her. Isn't that something? Too much. More coffee. Banana, probably you're 5 minutes behind. You're playing at 1.5, 7. Oh, okay. Catch up is funny. Should we wait? We can wait. No, I'm kidding. I'm pouring coffee. That should give you a moment. There. Okay. All right. Ooh, but you know what that means? That means besides you, most likely someone else showed up late, which means if he can find the drop, it means you're tardy.
I don't feel tardy. I don't feel dirty.
All right. No David Lee Roth this week. Only that. I can't take it anymore. It was too much David Lee Roth. Okay. All right. Where were we? Let's see. Oh, we're back on the tabs. Let me grab those. Okay, clickety click. So yeah, so they picked him on Discord, so that's cool. And okay, I figured obviously the biggest story of who knows how long this is going to go on, but I definitely had to talk about it, and I have quite a few ideas and thoughts about it. I've watched a lot. I've seen just about every angle, unfortunately, every angle and breakdown and of what happened and who did it and how it happened and so forth. And so first off, this gentleman, and I get it. Okay, I have a background that tells me two things. I've been in search for truth for however long this ride's been going, like at least 7 years. Maybe 8 at this point. And you come to find out that like the world is run by the same people. They all do the same gang signs and hand signs and stuff. I get it. Like I had this, you know, you got LeBron James, and for no reason whatsoever, he just does all these weird signs, and you can look them up, and they all have meaning. You can see like that, you know, and it's on the back of our dollar bills, and throws up the trips and does this. I mean, you can look them up. They're all the same signs and symbols, and I get that. Okay, I understand that. I've done this for enough years. I've seen that stuff. And you can go and say you're a truther and everything's fake, and you can say that he was part of the machine and whatever. But this is what I'll say about it. This gentleman did a few things. He went around, and I know he was polarizing. I know people had issues with what he had to say. He didn't back down from his position, and he always praised God and Jesus. He embodied the spirit of a Christian. And you can tell me that he's not, and he's fake, and he throws the hand signs, and I get it. But God can also use anyone for his purpose. And I guarantee you this gentleman brought people to Christ in his discussions and teachings. I guarantee it. My wife and I found him very entertaining. We like to put on YouTube videos, and he had a good pulse of what was going on across the campuses, at least, of our nation's youth. And they used to yell at him and saying, "What are you doing here arguing and debating with students? Like he's a grown man and he shouldn't be there." And he's like, "You're going to be the next generation that's going to make the decisions. So I absolutely need to talk to you." And so he would make it a point to go to these campuses, say what you will, if it was all script, whatever, I don't care. He went there, and there were people in the audience and people that were watching at home, and they were listening to what he was saying. And there's very few people that go around preaching Jesus and don't do it in a very like angry, you're going to die and go to hell way. Nobody wants to hear that. I never did. I never talked like this years ago. And so what you have to do is you have to be a leading example, and you have to preach from your heart. And whatever you want to say about him, he did that. And he was a family man. He had a wife and 2 children. You can say however he got them, I don't care. But they were beautiful little kids, 1 and 3 years old. And no one should feel that it's okay to take him out. And if you feel that it was all staged, then you can feel that way. But here's the problem. Even if you feel an event is staged, and I'm saying if you feel that. I saw the videos. Did his ring fall from his ring finger to his pinky? Did the microphone dot or whatever it was move up and end up here? And his hair glitched and the words on his shirt changed. The F goes away and comes back. I've seen it all. And then there's the guy in the white hat grabbing his hat and touching his ear, and then there's the gal and she's touching her chest. There's a guy behind him and he's doing like steal third base signs and yanking up cords and stuff. Who knows? It's such a minutia at this point. There's so much just bleeding all over the internet of this that we've seen way too much footage of this situation, which is very graphic and horrific. I don't recommend you watch it. I feel like I had to do the breakdowns because I had to make sure that I had all the evidence so I could talk about it in the right way. And so if you truly have the body of Christ in you, you'll know, because when you heard the news that he was killed, assassinated, murdered in front of his wife and children, if that didn't trouble you in some way, I don't know. I feel bad for our humanity. If your first reaction wasn't, that's somebody's father and husband and son, and if that wasn't your first reaction, that's really troubling to me where our society is going. You can go through the rest of it and say it was all theater and whatever, Masonic. I get it. I've heard it all. I've seen it all. You can do that. But I'll tell you something. Even if you thought the whole thing was fake, I'm not saying I am. I'm saying if the people that have been doing these breakdowns, it's a real event. And what do I mean by that? There's a real reaction from the world, from the people around you, the people you interact with on a daily basis. This has already caused a divided situation to be 10 times more divided. And it's just gotten started. Like, I don't see this going away right away. In addition to that, and again, you can believe or not believe whatever you want, but we had what? I think 2 schools that had bangs and an army base, I think, had a guy running around on it. Yet all that stuff going on. And then this, and the president's commenting on this. And he's flying on Air Force 2, and he's being buried in state in Congress or whatever. They had a moment of silence and they wanted a moment of prayer. Like, this is a big deal. Whatever you thought of this man and his policies and his ideas, it's going to affect you personally, either through the relationships you have or things that the government might want to start imposing because of this. The repercussions of this, we don't know yet. So the people that say it's fake, whatever, the event is real because it's going to have real repercussions. And you could say, well, how could you feel sad over something if you thought it was like, but I'll tell you something. We brought up Die Hard. I can watch Die Hard more times than I really want to admit and still get excited in the exciting parts and have, fear or whatever in the moments when I think he might not make it, even though I know he's gonna, and I can get disgustedly grossed out every time they smash faces at the end when he's full of blood. I mean, I get that. You can have those emotions from movies and from TV and from books. If you can't get an emotion from this, regardless of how you feel, we're in trouble, because this was quite an event, and it affected people on such a level that we're not even sure of. And very few people go around and talk about God and Jesus Christ, and this gentleman did. And and here's some of the other things they're saying, that Ben Shapiro is now going to. Ben Shapiro actually said he's going to pick up his bloody microphone and carry on. And this show happened just before the 10th.
It's like, maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because.
So people were commenting on the eyebrows. Because before this, Charlie Kirk had always just been 100%. Whatever Israel does, it's good. And he made that one question, and he started doing that question. And some people saying he did that question too much. I don't know. Or I'm feeding into the minutia of the fake story. What am I going to do? I have to talk to you about something. And this is what's going on. This is the stage. But even if it's a stage and a show, this is what people that aren't watching these shows are listening to and watching. And so it will affect you just because of the people all around you. The fact that Netanyahu, who's got how many wars he's dealing with, and all this stuff that he's dealing with, he's on this tour of saying I didn't do it.
I want you to address one thing, and
I don't know if I can even play what Newsmax is. He just goes around saying he didn't do this, and I think 9/11. He's on this apology tour. Why would he insisted they have nothing to do with this? Why would you even question that? Right? Yes, episode trace, Val. Exactly. Episode trace. I think it's time to make a new episode, don't you think? This is getting crazy. And meanwhile, this is where I say it's going to affect us. It is, what do they call it? Radicalizing people that think this is okay. And since we have a new society that we can all hide behind, the keyboard warriors, they call them, they write all this horrible stuff about Bang Bang and people. And it's like, this isn't good. I don't think so. I think this is a terrible view on our society. You should never want this of anyone. Most of the thing is the people that they have on these lists, people have never met these people and never will meet these people. Like pretty much everybody had ever met him, maybe gone to a showing where he's speaking, but not been over his house for dinner. You never meet these people. And yet they have such radical opinions that they want to take them all out. And so now, of course, people are now taking screenshots of these and doxing them and finding where they work and then sending it to their employers. And a lot of people are getting fired. So right as we started filling in employment, it's going to be a bunch of unemployed people, right? Because they all said stupid shit online. Phew. Then you got this guy. Now, this to me, if I was going to get upset over anything on this situation, besides the fact that he was killed, allegedly, whatever. Besides that, this guy, first of all, they held off. Did you know they held off the press conference so he could be there, so he could be the one to deliver the whatever. And he says this.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
I'll see you in Valhalla. I thought he was going to say hell. Same thing, I guess. Valhalla. Now, a few things that, even if you know nothing about Charlie Kirk, the one thing you can know is he presented himself as a Christian, probably one of the most Christian people out there, as far as at least what he presented himself as. Okay. I have to say, careful what I say for everybody, but to then go on screen and say, I'll see you in Valhalla. I didn't even know where that was. So of course I look it up, and it's Norse mythology. Valhalla is the mystical hell or hall of the gods of Asgard, where the souls of the heroes who died valiantly in battle, known as Enijar, are brought by the Valkyries, and they're put together, they're healed so they can train for the final battle of Ragnarok. I saw this movie. It was actually pretty funny. That was like the third Thor, I think. And I liked it. And Jeff Goldblum was pretty funny in it too as a villain. But that's what he says. So he's his send off to this Christian man is, I'll see you in a mystical place that you don't believe in. I mean, if he was Muslim, would he have said, I don't know, maybe. But isn't that weird that he says that? Like, why not just spit on his grave at the same time? See you in Valhalla. I mean, that's insane to me. And nobody seems to call this out except this guy who I think wins the internet for his comment. A Hindu garden gnome dating a Jewish Mossad agent says he'll meet a Zionist Christian in Viking Valhalla. It's like the Avengers if they all had missing chromosomes. I don't know. Maybe I don't even know why that's funny, but this is ridiculous. This right here is ridiculous. See you in Valhalla. All right. We'll see you in Valhalla. Thor. Thor's gonna come save him. And Asgard. And who's his dad? Oh shoot, I can't think of it. I just see the actor. Zeus, right? Isn't that his dad? Yeah. Anthony Hopkins is his dad. Yeah, Rocky, crazy, right? Odin. Thank you, Mad Fab. And James. No, oh, yes, Odin. I was wrong. Odin. But I was right that it was well, whatever. Anyways, moving on. And then this person's take. What if it's a distraction from this? Did you all know this went down while you were watching The Magician's Left Hand on September 9th to 10th in 2025? Or so they say. The U.S. Senate narrowly voted to not release the files that actually don't exist after. How's this guy still not only in office, but alive? Chuck Schumer's still kicking it in office. And he attempted to force disclosure through an amendment. Yeah, sure he did. Blah, 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 blah. And Schumer's identity. Two Rand Paul voted against it. Anyways, isn't this nuts? And I know, fake news, fake story. I get it. I'm just reading you the quote news that the genuine populace is seeing. But isn't that something that they talk about this on the same day? No one's going to look into this. Charlie Kirk was the whole thing, man. It was. And yeah, it's sad. And they said that Ben Shapiro's going to pick up his bloody mic and go on tour. But he doesn't believe in the same things as Charlie Kirk. Right? He doesn't. Because he's still part of the special children, and they don't believe in Jesus. So how could he pick up the same torch and bloody Mike, whatever he says? He's working for a different team. That's the way I see it. I don't know. Maybe they'll all meet in Valhalla. Because see, this is what was happening. So now we're getting society of people that feel it's okay to talk.
Can I shake your hand, please?
Sure.
I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, God bless you. God loves you too.
Okay, so here's somebody that liked what this person was doing. Great. But then this.
Thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to ask a question. Do you want to get shot?
So that's perfectly acceptable to say. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not a joke anymore. Because whatever happened or didn't happen, whatever you believe on the 10th, it was traumatizing to the point where you shouldn't be joking about this if the whole society saw that go down.
No.
This is Lexington.
Yeah.
And you're about to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you need views, but this specific idea that you have brought up, I understand everyone has their own beliefs. But when you wound up shot, I told you so.
How is that acceptable in society? Yeah, real or fake, the intentions are there. Yep. What's in your heart is what comes out. And so whatever caused her to feel this way, we pray for these people. She's deceived on a level that I can't even understand, that she thinks that that's okay to go up to someone that she disagrees with on what they're saying and recommend he gets shot for what he says. That's wrong. That's not a way to live. This is not good for our society to find this as acceptable behavior. Regardless of what you think of the person's policies. You can not like what someone says, but that doesn't give them a death sentence. That's insanity. This is what people need to understand. It's not that your friend changed the way they thought. It's that they moved the goalpost to such a ridiculous level. I know some very close people that got caught in this exact thing. You got your conservative here This is center, and this is the person that I'm thinking of, and they're fellow leftists. And then all of a sudden, they went far this way. They didn't move. They're still actually a little bit closer to center. They kind of backed away a bit. Then center now moved way over here. But if you notice, see, actually they haven't moved at all. The line keeps changing. Now center is on this side. Suddenly they became right, even though they weren't. They never, see that? They didn't move. Now they're a bigot from their friend. And eventually we get to where we're at now. That's what's going on here. Take a screenshot of that. I'll post it on my page. But that's it right there. That's what's happening. And again, to the people that say, oh, it's all Masonic theater, I get it. Because then you find stories like this. This was on sale at Amazon. The book is called The Bang of Charlie, right? It talks about what happened that day in Utah. All the detailed firsthand testimony, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how long it takes to put a book out. But in any case, this book came out on September 9th, the day before. So you make that make sense. You can't. But there was somebody in this, people saying, it's all, somebody was there throwing out hats. A bunch of people were at an event and they saw Charlie Kirk. What happened from thereafter, I can't tell you. Because what I can tell you is this, is that most likely nobody that's watching this was at the event. And so something did happen at the event, and I'll tell you why. Because you can have, like, you can go to Universal Studios. I don't know if you can afford it anymore. I think it's several, like a couple $1,000s. I don't know. Those parks apparently have gotten really crazy prices, like Disneyland and all that. And you can go to Universal Studios, at least you could in the day, and you go to the Old West show, and they'd shoot cowboys off of the roofs and stuff and crash into the ground. And it was all theater. So if that is what your people that think it's all fake say happened, everything that we're seeing on the internet now comes off of these screens. It can be manipulated. I don't know if anyone that was there that actually saw the horrificness of what I see on the little screens. So I can't tell you where the truth lies, how far it went, or whatever. But what I can tell you is this. It was a real event because it's affecting everyone's lives in some way or another. No matter how you felt that you saw that that side of the story, it's affecting everyone. So that makes it real. I mean, it's like it's spoken into existence, and here it is. So now we have to deal with it. We have to figure out, how we're going to deal with it. And saying that he deserved it, it's just, I can't. The storyline I see is he has 2 young children, and that's just terrible. It's such a crime. So I think that's it. Oh, no, wait. And then there's this. This is the gal on the train who incidentally had a neck injury too the day before, I think, or at least a few days before. And according to this, she died in, I don't know. It's hard to say. You have to go back through the Internet archives and try to find these stories. They're really, really difficult to do. But I'm not saying that that's not something. What I saw horrifically happening with Charlie Kirk, I didn't see with this gal on that bus thing, but I don't know. And that's when you turn off the internet and you put on Columbo, or it's all fake. How about this? Does anybody remember this guy? This what do you call it? Luigi, right? From the Mario Brothers games. Do you remember the name of the CEO that he allegedly unalived? I don't. But what did they do? They proposed a ballot initiative called Luigi Mangione Act, making it harder for insurers to deny medical care. So they literally named, or they're planning on naming an act of a California ballot after the quote unquote murderer. And they're naming a healthcare bill after him. That's how upside down this world is. Can you imagine if they had like the Manson bill or something? You know what I mean? It's like, what a joke. Oh, and I wanted to thank my son sent me this because I keep coming across this. If you look at the dollar sign, they say it's always just had one. But yet this is from 1933, of course. He made sure I saw that in this movie with Ginger Rogers called The Gold Diggers. And they got it wrong. And you think somebody would have said, hey, we got too many lines in that. The dollar sign only has one. So thank you for that. I've been meaning to show that the other week. I forgot. Now, here's something nobody's talking about. This went down at Harvard, of course. That's where they experiment on everything on us. I think they're involved in spraying the sky and blocking out the sun. I believe that was them. So, yeah, what a world, Trish. Something. But yeah, check this out.
To use it, you just put the glasses on. Then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
What's that? For this, the story I'm doing now, it says Harvard on it. Yeah. So I'll go with them. But yeah. So these are these VR glasses. It takes a picture of the person. And then in a few seconds, finds out their information, like their home address.
Seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
Cambridge Community Foundation. Oh, hi, ma'am. Wait, are you Betsy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah.
So isn't that something? So in real time, they can like exactly stalker alert in real time. They can act like they know you, right? Hang on. I have to announce at least one person I see tardy.
I don't feel tardy. I don't feel tardy.
So yeah, what is this? Similar to the glasses Peter Thiel was wearing? Oh, okay. Yeah. And I mean, it reminds me of like what we were talking about Terminator earlier tonight. The Terminator, when you'd see through his eyes and he'd like scan and all that stuff would come down. We're there. Obviously, if they showed it in the Terminator movie, we've had this technology for a while. Well, they have. But now we're there. We're able to buy it ourselves.
It's great to meet you. I'm Kane.
Oh, wait. So do you happen to be the person working on like minority stuff for like Muslims in India at all or something?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Are you Kashif?
Yes.
Oh, I've read your work before. That's super cool.
So here's how it works. We stream the video from the glasses straight to Instagram and have a computer program monitor the stream. We use AI to detect when we're looking at someone's face. Then we scour the internet to find more pictures of that person. Finally, we use data sources like online articles and voter registration databases to figure out their name, phone number, home address, and relatives' names. And it's all fed back to an app we wrote on our phone.
Is your address for Valley?
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia, 303. Is
oh my god. Yes. Not anything, but yeah.
also attended Yale's Young Global Scholar Summer Program, right? Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
these are me in like middle school.
Oh my God. What about John and Susan? Are they your
Those are my parents.
parents? Okay.
Isn't this wild? Isn't that something? And you know, the things that we went through in the year 2020 and a few years after that, where they were telling people they had to put stuff over their faces. All that did was help AI train so it could read just your eyes. It just kind of made it smarter. And so, yeah, with facial recognition technology, which they've obviously had for a long time, and it's getting more and more fine-tuned for us anyways, just like we have to get, new iPhones every so often. They're getting these glasses, and eventually it'll probably be like a contact lens. You just stick, I don't know, or an eye surgery, and they implant something by Elon Musk. Elon, he wants to, put stuff in your eyes maybe next. But yeah, it's fascinating to watch. But James is just only going to send his dog to the grocery store around, right? But if your dog doesn't use his club card, he won't save you all the money, and then it'll be too expensive, and he'll be a bad dog. Bad dog. So, yeah. Before Facebook, it was only school yearbooks, right, Stephanie? Right? Now it's like you can find everything out there. It's pretty wild. So, okay. There's that. And this one I haven't completely vetted, but it wouldn't surprise me if this one was 100% true. So I'll keep looking into this. But for tonight, we're going to listen to it. It's only a minute long.
Did you know that lottery winners have a statistically impossible connection to government agencies?
Oh, really?
When researchers analyzed major jackpot winners over the past 2 decades, they discovered something shocking. Nearly 40% had previous careers in intelligence, defense contracting, or federal agencies. The odds of this happening randomly, less than 1 in 847 million.
So it's even probably higher than the actual lottery. But wait, there's more.
But it gets stranger. These winners often donate massive portions back to government programs within months of winning.
Of course they do.
Some conspiracy theorists believe state lotteries use quantum computing to manipulate number sequences.
Why would they ever do that?
They point to excluded combinations that would create too many winners and jackpots that mysteriously spike during budget crises. The timing seems too perfect. Major jackpots often occur just before states need emergency funding.
Shocking. What a coinkydink. Oh, and we were talking about the dog and he got a dog therapy ad. That's funny.
Internal documents allegedly show research into probability manipulation using quantum algorithms. The same technology.
You like, it's always 999 million or 666. But yeah, it's what did you just say? Money laundering, possibly. Absolutely.
That can predict particle behavior could theoretically control random number generation. If true, the lottery isn't gambling at all. It's a sophisticated wealth redistribution system disguised as chance.
Otherwise known as money laundering, right? Oh, James says, and Epstein won the lottery once. Of course he did. Of course he did. What are the odds? Why are we still talking about this? Isn't that what Trump says? Now, Christmas is around the corner. This is for the males in the audience. I'm sure if your wife has thinking about getting implants, these are the ones she would want. They can change color.
RGB Smart Implant.
Smart implant.
Discover the perfect harmony of technology and aesthetics.
Perfect.
Step into a glowing future that's uniquely yours. And the best part, you're in complete control. You said, turn it pink with a touch. Boom, it's pink.
Because who wouldn't want lights in their tits?
You felt a little purple today? It got the message. Now you're glowing in violet. Go on. Embrace the glow.
Oh, embrace the glow. Cyberpunk 2077, right? Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Oh, hell no, he says, James says. Isn't that something? I mean, come on. Come on. Who said, it would make those even better than they already are?
A touch. Boom. It's pink.
Honey, I've dropped my reading glasses. Can you come over here and turn them on? And that song by Neil Diamond makes a whole new thing, right? Turn on your heart light. So, yeah. Did Elton John sing about this? No, I know Neil Diamond did with the heart light. I don't know if there's something else. Yeah, so there you go. Isn't that something? So, yeah, I'm sure it's not cancerous, Gabby. They won't tell you that for at least 20 years. So, all right. And then this, because it's all about confusion and President Trump, your president of the United States, posted a video that I can't even talk about or play on YouTube, but he posted it. You can read what it says about it being poison, every single one. It's such confusion. And then you have other of his cabinet members saying they're going to cure everything else with one shot. It's kind of like we were talking about anime before. He had that, there was a show the kids used to watch. I thought it was hilarious that they'd watch it. It was called One Punch. And every single episode ended with the guy just giving him one punch and it was over. So I'm like, what's the point of the show? And it's ridiculous that you knew how it was going to end. Doesn't matter what was going to happen in the episode. At the end of the episode, the one punch guy would punch you and it'd be over and he'd win. And and so you've got this guy telling you this, and then you got the other guy, RFK Maha. This is MAGA. The other guy's Maha, saying they're going to put it all together in just one punch, one shot, and it'll cure everything in the future. And there was this show that we just saw. It was actually pretty funny. Called what's that called, hon? If you're down there, Scam, something like that. She'll remember. And it was set in 2020. And I usually don't like those shows, but this one had a sense. What's that? Yeah, you got to say it louder. Hang on, everybody. She's coming. Trunk? Sprung. Thank you. It's my ears, I guess. Sprung. And it was set in 2020. And the guy was in jail. And when he came out, he wasn't aware of all the things going on. In fact, he gets let out because of the things going on. Remember when they were just throwing people out of jail because they were afraid of the cranani? I used to call it that. And so he sees everyone. Some people were wearing a thing on their faces, some weren't. And he goes, are we supposed to wear those? And the gal says, it depends on what TV station you listen to. And it's literally to that level now. Like, it's they make jokes about what we went through, and yet people lost their livelihoods and stuff. And again, they did all of that without taking away a single gun. So they can control without that. It's all about this. Controlling the mind, controlling the populace that way. And of course, D-class, that's a Q person. But I find the information where I can. So, and then there's this went down. Did you know this? The Secretary of War. They changed the name.
Mr. President, thank you. After winning a war for independence in 1789.
And people like, oh, we're the protectors of the world. That's what I always heard growing up. But at the same time, aren't we also the aggressors of a lot of these things? Just asking for a
George
friend.
Washington established the War Department, and Henry Knox was his first Secretary of War. And this country won every major war after that.
I don't know how much I can play this. I realize who it's from, but he basically says he's excited that he's changed the Department of Defense name back to the Department of War, and they're all excited. I'm sorry, we're supposed to be the Department. Oh, a nice hand sign I just saw as I was stopping it. We're supposed to be there defending the world, and yet they're excited that we're now called the Department of War again. Yahoo! Right? That's what these represent. Isn't that interesting? They notice all the flags behind them? They all have the war part of the eagle. Isn't that something? Oh, and there's Space Force, who've never left the ground. Should be called the Ground Force. And yeah. So anyways, it's now the Department of War. And if I have to trim this out because it's the Fox, I'll trim it out. But that's wild. Nobody seems to care. The Ministry of Truth is hard at work, says Gabby. Yes. Roman Germany all in one, Mad Fab. So, yeah, Department of War. And then you got this. Now, again, because it's YouTube, I'm not going to show it, but there was a ship, and they were all excited to show that there was a ship on the ocean. They deemed it was full of drugs that were going to kill Americans, and they blew it up. And there was 11 people on board. I mean, this is the story. Go with it or whatever. And they blew it up. Judge, jury, executioner. When is that ever allowed? Like, they're all crying that we're supposed to, give people due process and stuff, but not on this boat because they deemed it was full of drugs. What if the government decided your boat was full of drugs? So somebody actually calls him out on it. J.D. Vance, who's changed his name so many times, killing the cartel members who poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of the military. Like, they were proud of this video. So someone calls on, I don't know who this guy is, but killing citizens of another nation who are civilians without any due process is called a war crime. And the vice president of the United States says, I don't give a S what you call it. That was his answer. Yeah, Twitter's savage. But yeah, isn't that something? Here he is. I'm starting to figure out what JD Vance actually looks like when I see these things. But yeah, and we're perfectly fine with that. No wonder people are being radicalized and think it's okay to talk about offing people. The government says they don't give a crap about killing them. The vice president of the United States. And if the people that say that Trump had a stroke are right, who knows, he might be president. He goes around saying this and no one checks him on it except this. So. And then speaking of boats that were blown up, oh my God, this story doesn't go away. That Greta, the one that we stole her childhood when she was supposed to be in school, and then she got captured by Israeli pirates who then said, get her off the boat, and they got rid of her with no ransom, and she won't go away. And so what did she do this time? She's out on another boat. I don't know where they're going. I don't even keep up on that part of it. But they said they were attacked by an Israeli missile or Palestinian missile or somebody's missile. Yeah, how dare you, that gal, right, MadFab? And it turned out, when you see the actual video, someone on their own boat shot a flare up and did it wrong, and it came back down on their own boat. So they set themselves on fire and pretended that it was a military strike. And the whole boat, of course, they can't put it out. There's no extinguishers on board. I don't know what boat this is. So they call for help, and they end up getting rescued onto another boat, and this thing just burns into the ocean. I mean, not a single fire extinguisher? What the heck? Yeah, play stupid game, get stupid prices. But isn't that something? And they blame it on a missile strike when you can see the video. The guy shot the thing and he screwed it up and it came down on his own boat. You can't make this up. They do. There's no water on boats, right? 16 Alpha. It burns to the ground or to the water, just burns down, and nobody puts that out. I don't know. On boats I've been on, there's been at least a couple fire extinguishers and water somewhere. Aren't flares magnesium? I guess the water wouldn't help, but the fire extinguishers would, wouldn't they, Reverend? You're the Reverend. I don't know. So, but yeah, pretty wild. And like McCain and his mishap, no, didn't McCain shoot somebody in the face? Yeah. And he never saw any time. Yeah. You get high enough if you're a cop, you can shoot or kill someone and get away with it. That's just the way it is. Like I watched, they had because the new Naked Gun came out. I haven't seen it yet, but they had the old ones on, and I watched one of them, and they said that he was off the force, this Drebin guy, and he's no longer a cop, and he goes, wow, to think the next time I shoot someone, I might actually get arrested. It's like they can get away with. Anyways, we're off topic. We got look at all these tabs we got to get through. Got to get these tabs through. Okay. And then there's this to go along with it's all theater. How do I make that any larger? That's what she said. There we go. I guess that's as large as that gets. That's again what she said. Look at this. This is he's a king now, right? King Charles now, right? Yeah, CK got shot and KC is here, along with whatever this is, his quote-unquote wife. Wait, why is that starting in the beginning? Oh, it is. Like, what's going on with this neck? Okay, Mission Impossible. That's truly a flap. So what's happening here? Is this like The Simpsons? If you peel this off, there's a lizard underneath? What's going on here? Is that a breathing hole? What is that? Someone splain, please. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. He never says that now. Oh, now I have music. Where'd that come from? There you go. I mean, I don't know how many times there's so many videos showing how realistic these masks can be. That we don't really know who we're watching anymore, honestly. So the people are saying everything's fake. Well, there's a lot of things that are fake-ish, right? Like this is not who that guy is. He's this guy. I don't know why they never show you very long. Let's see. Yeah. So, same thing. Looks like your boss at work, Connor. So, all right. Oops. I don't want to download. How do we get out of this? Picture go normal. There we go. Okay. And I had to show this. I just saw this before the show started. This allegedly is the final known photograph of Michael Rockefeller, which, you know, it's funny though. You do remember this, hon? I got in trouble when I first started Twitter, and I made that joke about, or a meme that showed the eldest Rockefeller and how he looked like that Burns guy and how he controlled everything and all that. And I posted it on, what's his name, hon? Do you remember the grandson's name? She'll remember. What's Rockefeller's grandson that got mad at me? David. I posted on David's page and I got blocked. And it was like a badge of honor. I was like, I'm blocked by the Rockefeller. But this is supposedly Michael Rockefeller. He vanished in Papua New Guinea when his canoe overturned during an expedition to study an uncontacted cannibalistic tribe and was never seen again. Okay. I mean, this doesn't look like a Hollywood stage thing to me. And then how'd we get the photo? That's my question. How'd we get the photo? Because here's his camera. So there had been another guy there that somehow left. Doesn't make any sense. But I thought it was funny because that guy's face is hilarious. All right. All right. I know what we should do. Let's watch a minute of cats. Do you own cats? This is why you need to own a cat. No, this is why you don't want a cat. I'm laughing because it's not my house. Oh no. Oh no. But I've seen this before, but this one. Anyway, oh my gosh, is that something? We love our cats, though. We do. I don't know where Sarah is, if you see her, but yeah, isn't that something? Something about pets, though, and I don't know. I didn't carefully watch that all the way through, but I didn't see a black cat. I wonder. Maybe we should see it again. Let's see. Look for a black cat. Because they're the least problems, I would say. That's my no black cat, no whites and oranges and grays. That might have been one. Why are they always TV? Maybe they're trying to tell us something. Kill your TV. Ooh, I like it. Turn off the programming. That's what this episode's about. That's what they're trying to tell us in their different ways. I don't know what's going on there. Oh my God. And I don't allow my cat on the counter, and that's a good reason why. Oh my goodness. On the roofs, I was on the toilet. I just sit there, all it's just crashing in on you. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Let me get out of this for a minute. Let's see how everyone's doing. How you doing? Good to see y'all. Wow, we've got like 150 people here. So if you're enjoying yourself, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you like. And okay. So where we got here? Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, cat scratch fever. Tabbies, yeah, I hear. I don't know about tabbies, but they could be troublemakers too. Connor says it's typical. No animals in your house. I don't blame you, especially if you watch videos like that. So, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I only saw one that seemed to be black. But yeah, maybe they did. Maybe they sensed the evil, right? We saw Poltergeist, the original one. They warned us, but we didn't listen. So, oh, you want that clip? Okay, I can look for it. I haven't gotten rid of it yet, so I'm glad I saw that. All right, let's see. Clickety click, and there. We'll go over here, and we'll put it on. Put on YouTube, and if there's anybody over on Rockfish, we'll put it over there. And then I gotta check my Rumble people, and a few people over there. So I'll throw it in there for you too. Okay, got that taken care of. So yeah. Let's go back down to the where are we at here? Yeah, the cats are saving us from TV. But actually, the cats are the reason all of us are on YouTube, right? It used to, I mean, basically, cats brought YouTube into existence, I think. Oh, I'm sorry, it was frustrating. It's over. Order out of cat chaos. Yeah. So, yeah, see, that's how YouTube started, was cat videos. Eventually, if you stayed up late enough, you ended up on cat videos. Thank you, James. So, yeah. We hear cat knock stuff down every day. Yeah. See? So I'm okay. Sounds good to me. It is pretty funny, but yeah. Wait a minute. Is this like Ross from Friends? You had a monkey when you were little? For real, you had a monkey. Do you know, when I was a kid, I used to always want to have a chimpanzee. Luckily that my folks were smart enough not to ever get me one, because don't they eat your nose off, I think. But you guys really had a monkey. That's funny. So, oh, hi, Ronald Lee. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Got everything else. Okay. Let's see. Do you really? That's funny. Yeah, I always said that, I would make money on YouTube if I just put a camera on my cat and see what she does throughout the day. So yeah, they really are hilarious. So oh, thank you. God bless you, Mad Pax. Thank you, brother. Yes, did you see that, honey? You're a wonderful man. Thank you for all of you've done. That's what keeps the lights on. So thank you. And okay, let's see. Okay, wait, we got more on the monkey. So for $20, they sold you a monkey, and then he jumped on a Christmas tree, shook it, turned over, and broke a bunch of bulbs. And you had a skunk? Oh, dear Lord, why? You don't want to mess with skunks. My dad had a hilarious story in college. He needed to make some extra money, and back then, I don't know what they did, if they were experimenting on little animals and stuff, and they lived in Arizona. And so he'd set out traps that he could capture whatever these little animals were. I mean, don't judge him. This is what he did back then. And he accidentally trapped a skunk. And so he quick thinkingly threw a blanket over it. And so it didn't see him. Or actually, I think I take that back. The blanket was over. That it got into the trap. And when he went to look at the blanket, he realized that there's a skunk in there. And so he went to his college professor that was, paying him whatever it was for the animals. And he said, "Hey, I accidentally trapped a skunk." He goes, "What do I do?" And he told my dad straight up, "Kill it." And my dad's like, "I'm not going to kill it." He goes, "Well, there's nothing you can do. You have to kill it." And so my dad's like, "I'm not killing this animal." And so he went back and he felt that he could grab the blanket, open the cage, and jump back fast enough for the skunk to go out, of course. And it didn't work that way. As soon as he lifted up the blanket, the skunk turned and faced him and shot him full on, point blank range, covered him. The skunk got out, of course. He was fine. And with tears in his eyes, my dad finally made it home. And my grandmother at the time wouldn't let him come in the house. They, stripped him down and burned all his clothes. And he said they soaked him in a tub of tomato juice. And I don't know how much that helped, but yeah. So that's my skunk story. Where were we? We were about skunks. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back up here. Hey, you guys are talking a lot. You want a man bear pig? I don't know. That they seem very violent. So, and catsploitation. You had a house chicken? I don't know. We have chickens and they crap everywhere. There's no way I would want one in my house. I just feel that that's no bueno. So, yeah, there you go. I can paint a stripe on Sarah and we can have a skunk. Didn't they do that in the cartoons? That cartoon, didn't he get they took him out. They silenced him because it was the cancel culture was like that was basically it was like trying to assault those kitties in what's it, Pepe Le Pew. Yeah. I don't think you can see his cartoons anymore, at least that I knew of. So all right. Are we good? I think I got all the animals. And what would a monkey cam look like? That'd be hilarious. What is this? You named him Tomba after Tarzan. Okay. All right. I see I'm getting caught up in the chat and I get lost. All right. Let's go back in here. Let's get rid of some of these tabs. Let's see. Go clickety click. Hopefully, this has been entertaining still.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Let's hope so. All right. So that's the cat video. And this is because I like to make sure that, I don't believe everything was a building. I believe there was things on Earth that were cut down, like these giant trees. And they look too much like tree trunks that we see nowadays. And if the Earth is, I don't believe it's the millions of years old that they say. But even if the Earth is thousands of years old, 10,000 years old, or where are all the big trees? What do we have? Like the trees we have now are maybe in the hundreds at most. And I think these are the scrub things left over after the giant trees were cut down. Just they put it in movies and stuff, Avatar and all that. We see it there. But to me, these look exactly like tree trunks. And I could be completely wrong, but there's so much that to me, it's convinced me. And it makes sense that people were larger back then and the trees were bigger back then. And then someone or something or a combination of things leveled them or cut them down or whatever you want to say. Whoever did it, how they did it, I can't tell you. But it changed our whole existence here. And that's one of the lies that they want to teach you is that we're millions of years old and we're a tiny primordial soup that turned into a human, when the truth is actually we were much larger than this. And the lifespan that we have now is way shorter and we're way smaller than the people that we read about in history. So that's my take on it anyways. I've always had that stance, and I'll keep having it until I see new evidence that that's not a tree. And this was interesting, and not because of what this guy believes, but I didn't know about this place in Scotland. And I know I have some people that watch me from there.
You ever wondered why Scotland looks like that?
Now I do.
What do you mean, what am I talking about? The giant line that runs through the middle of it? You've never looked at that and thought, that's a little weird. Well, that
I didn't know that existed.
weird giant line is called the Great Glen. It's a valley that runs from coast to coast completely against the grain of all the other hills and mountains. The base of it has a series of these long freshwater lakes, including Loch Ness. They're all in a perfectly straight line and both look and are oriented differently than all the other lakes in the area. Take a moment to absorb the beauty. All right, now let's talk about why it exists. This strange valley is the ghost of an ancient fault line, now creatively referred to as the Great Glen Fault. We're talking like 300 million years ago in the...
Okay, so he's talking 300 millions years ago when Pangea created the Appalachian Mountains. All right, so why am I bringing this up? Because I'm a biblical person, and my history starts in the Bible. And you can see that there's actually pieces in these different countries. They were all connected before what? Pangea. Now, the same people that tell you that the earth is a spinning ball flying through space, they tell you that things happened 300 million years ago, 500 million years ago, whatever. And one of the things that they say happened all the way back then was Pangea. But I've said before, find the scriptures where Jesus says that every mountain will move out of its place. And there's times when he's going to split mountains and there's earthquakes, etc. I feel in my heart, whatever revelation was, that's Pangea. That's when everything's separated, because you have all these cultures, provably so, that are building the same buildings, no matter what country they're in, no matter how far away they are. But if it was all one landmass, which it would make sense to me, if God created the earth, I think he would make it all just one spot so he could travel the whole thing. But then when revelation happens, it all gets crashed apart. So how does science explain that this tribe of Indians or whatever is also over here, and this thing is over here, and these islands were once connected? How do they explain away all this? Pangea. And that's how they explain everything, I guess. And so And slowly since Pangea, we've been like shifting and moving away. We don't see that now, of course, but we can see it through history. It doesn't happen anymore. It's just like monkeys evolved to humans, but we still have monkeys where they are stupid cousins. Like they didn't figure out the evolution part. They stopped. They got to a monkey and then just said, "Oh, that's funny. We were talking about monkeys earlier." They just stopped being a monkey and said, "I don't feel like being a human." If all your friends and neighbors turned into humans, wouldn't you want to evolve too? No, you're going to stay a monkey. So I think whatever happened biblically, that's what separated all this into what we know now. And whatever this Glen's gauge, what is this thing? Forget what it's called. The Great Glen is. I can't explain it away, but I know it didn't take 300 million years. That's what I feel. Look at this thing. This is the Bakagakata crater. I messed that up. It's a giant, rapidly growing chasm of the permafrost of Siberia. And they found woolly mammoths and extinct horses and stuff like that. And whoa, it's got cool music when you fly over it. The things people put to these things. Like, what's going on here? Like, these are things that have happened way before we got here, and we can all guess, but none of us know what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. Except when I see destruction, I know God allowed it. And why did he allow it? Well, part of it, too, is the first one was the flood. In 1991, the Bahamas, at a depth of 600 meters, found two gigantic pyramids larger than the Khufu in Gaza, underwater. On top of Mount Everest, they found plankton underwater. There are whales in the desert underwater. So the biblical story of the flood, which it seems like every culture or whatever has their version of it. You get them in an echo because I'm screen sharing. But everyone seems to have a similar story, and there's so much proof of things underwater that's the flood. Oh, I had to bring this one up because I hadn't seen this. This showed up on my feed. Did you all know in the summer of 1817, hundreds of people, including sailors, clergymen, magistrates, all witnessed the same thing, a giant 60-foot-long sea serpent swimming in the harbor of Gloucester, Massachusetts. The mass sighting became one of the most credible, famous monster accounts in America. I didn't know about it. My friend Steve did, but he's from Massachusetts. But isn't that something? And so there's a whole world there we don't even understand. God talks about it in the book of Job, that there's things under the water or in the water. And they say that we've plotted everything, but only a very small fraction of the water because we don't know how far down it goes. Yeah, every country has a flood story. Exactly. So, and no, I don't think they found SpongeBob. But remember, we found Patrick on 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So, and Shed's brother is a baboon. So he didn't quite make this change. Anyway, so that was interesting. But yeah, and then the his story that we get is that our ancestors, who weren't as smart as we are, built this with horse and buggy and chisels for no reason, for like a dozen people. I mean, how many people are actually in this photo? 25, 30 people? Look at the size of these things. And like it says here, the tram doesn't have wires on top. What makes it work? See that? Where are the wires? And nobody knows what this thing is. They had ways of, I mean, you go back to the World's Fair pictures, and I've covered them many times. At night, they had they were completely lit up. And they say these buildings were temporary and they had to tear them all down. They had this giant water and fountain and all this stuff. And all this stuff lit up with no light bulbs in sight. And yet we had to tear it down. Because why? Because it was too beautiful? Look at this. This was demolished for a parking lot. Why? And why are you building buildings that have windows that go into the ground? It's because this is the top of the building and there's multiple floors below it. That's what I'm saying. Like this one. This is 1923, Dusseldorf, Germany. Look at the columns on this. See, all they did was just find these cities. That's why they say everything's founded. They didn't build anything. What's that? We built this city on rock and roll. No, they walked in and found it. Who would put this out in the middle of nowhere with no roads? But make sure we build this monstrous building with the giant statue on top and leave it out in the middle of nowhere. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the Dark Ages. It's the exact opposite. They're called the Dark Ages because Satan's hiding it. Look, I mean, I don't know. We were going to get there. We'll get there. Let's keep going. Look at this one. University of Pennsylvania in 1874. Look at that. You couldn't get that made today. And if you did, it would take you 10 years and cost way too much money. It's nuts. Am I getting a visitor? Yay.
Maybe.
Oh, if you catch her, we'll have a Sarah moment. Oh, she's not into this tonight.
Is she ever?
No, she never is. Get him, Sarah. Get that one there. You missed one. Get him. Get him. Look at it's your bag. You want it? Is that you? Is that you? What do you think? I think it looks a pretty good likeness. Maybe that's why she's upset. Okay, all right. There you go, honey. See ya. Okay. So there we go. That was your Sarah moment. What do I have for that? Yeah, thank you. All right. Where are we? Back to your regular scheduled programming. Clickety click here, here, and here. Okay. So this one, Portland, Oregon High School, founded in 1885. Less than about a year of construction, it says. Demolished 44 years later. Look at this thing. Like, why? And if you look, like I said, you can see it goes down. That's not how you would build on this angle here. There's more stories to this. Looks like the Munsters house. But yeah, you got that. This is Budapest, Hungary in 1890. Look at the size of these buildings and look how far down they go. And there's a decent amount of people. But I was like, I wonder how many people they say lived in Budapest, Hungary in, when was this? 1890. So, of course, I went to the internet and I said, hey, internet, how many people lived in this city in 1890? And the internet said 3.3 million. There's their number. And I highly doubt there was 3 million people living in Budapest. But hey, I wasn't there. I can't tell you who counted it. I don't know if they had what system they had for census taking back then. I know in the old days, it was the churches. And of course, they never lied to you, right? So 3.3. It couldn't have been any other number, right? Yeah. All right. And then there's this one. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Pabst Building, 1891, demolished 100 years later or so, 235 feet tall. And look at that. I guess it's better this way. Look at that. For what reason? And it's not just this one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. They didn't build these things with horse and buggies. You can't convince me of that. This Bellevue Stafford Hotel in 1905. There's the horse and buggies that built it. I was with a group, the Flat Earth group, that they would yell at you. At least one gal would, if you didn't believe that these things were built with horse and buggies. And yet there's no evidence of that anywhere. There's just theories. Because they don't want to admit that this is not our world. We found it and that there was resets of some kind. I mean, there's, like it says, two different civilizations are represented here. Whoever built this building, again, with the windows that go into the ground, and then the people that walk around in this. And when they go home, they got little houses made of wood, little cabins and stuff, right? They spent all their time and resources on this thing. And it's probably, well, it's a courthouse. Sure. Okay. Or a post office. Yeah. St. Louis. Don't bother putting in a road. Let's build. What is this? Insaneness. It's incredible how big these buildings are. Incredible. Yeah, here you go. Perfect example. I knew this was in here somewhere. Post office of the past and what we build now. Look at the size of these buildings. That's a human head right there. Incredible for a post office. Makes no sense whatsoever. None. And a lot of people call it Tartaria, which we hadn't even heard of just recently. But this society, they blame a lot of this on. Who knows what the real story is. But look at the construction on this. Who had the time and effort to do this? It's insane. How do you build that? You're telling me there's a guy hanging from the ceiling and he's painting or he's adding the gold or the chiseling the thing? That's your story? Meanwhile, the donkeys all put it together outside. Look at this. It's insane the intricate work that's in this. Why don't they do this today? Because nobody would have the time or the resources to do this, or the skill. It seemed like every single person in the 1800s was an amazing craftsman and an amazing builder. I don't know what the architectural schools were like back then, but dang, they had so many all across the plain that their skills were unmatched to this day. Make hammer and chisel great again, it says. The Gothic arches of the University of Glasgow. Shockingly beautiful. It's just insane to think how big these are. I mean, that's a person like right down here. Yeah, Union Station in D.C. Because it needed to be this big. The trains aren't going through here, just the people. And it's probably been whitewashed like they did a lot of the buildings back then. But, yeah, what is that? I thought that was an interesting visual of things going down in the earth. Because they're digging these things out, but as a visual representation, let's say that this is the whole building. What we see now is, say, maybe like this view. We're standing here, and we see the doors that go into the ground, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we'll give them this much. No, probably right about here. And that's what we say is this building. But if we were able to dig it out, you'd see how far down it goes. And that's what's actually happening as they dig these things out. These are just the tops, most likely. But even these things, I mean, horse and buggy and hand tools, chisels, created this. That one's crazy. I've seen that one in person. Like the Dark Towers from the Lord of the Rings. And, you know, there's Notre Dame, and there's a building that looks just like Notre Dame in other cities, including San Francisco. So, anyways, I'm not buying their history. And then I get people that say, wait a minute, you're saying that the revelation happened and the millennial reign of Christ happened and, you know, prove it. Well, you can't, because they didn't have iPhones back then to like video log it and put it on TikTok and stuff. Like if they knew how to use TikTok, they would. Do you know how to use TikTok? I'll show you. This is how you use TikTok. I made this. When did I make this? A year ago. This is how you use TikTok. I'm going to show you the best way to make a TikTok video. The first thing you want to do is find someone else's content. And that usually... Wait, we got to back it up. You got to get full screen on this. It's that important. How do I do that? Let's see. Clickety click. Here it is. That work? Let's see. Okay. I'll make that larger. All right. I think we're doing it. No. There. Boy, that went a long way to get to this. We're still not even there yet. There we go. I'm going to show you the best way to make a TikTok video. The first thing you want to do is find someone else's content, and that usually is on YouTube. And then look for someone incredibly intelligent, funny, like I chose this particular channel. And find the video that you want to share and make it like you did something. And so find the video. There's a lot of programs you can use to download it. And then you can download that video. And then once you have that, you can use some of these programs like CapCut and film yourself doing some type of reactions to whatever's going on screen. And with that, you want to make sure that you move it around, you can make yourself large and cover the entire screen if you want, or you can just make yourself in the corner and move around. But make sure you continually react to what the person on the screen is saying and in a positive way. Because don't forget, you found this video and it gives you the higher moral ground to let people know that you're smarter than them because you found this and you're presenting it like you've done something. And make sure once in a while that you you poke at your own head, like whatever's being said is really intelligent and you've discovered it and you know it and everyone else needs to listen. So they might get a little bit of the intelligence and knowledge that you have just because you've shared this video and put yourself into it. And so make sure that you continually agree with the guest on screen and shaking your head yes. And occasionally you can make a face like they said something really amazing and you were kind of shocked by it. But then don't forget to go back into the smug smile and tap on your own head, because that's knowledge that other people need to hear and you've already absorbed it. So just have fun with it. Make sure you make yourself completely obnoxious. Make it so it's almost unwatchable, and put lots of words and stuff on the screen so it's very difficult to read things and see things behind it. And also make sure that you do your best to never give credit for where you got the information, because you want people to come to your page to see what you have found and show how amazing it is that you have this cognitive ability to find other people's work and create it as your own. So have fun with it, and don't forget at the end, make that little blipply noise that they put on TikTok, because that's important. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Oh, what do I have for that? Boom, baby. You like that? So, yeah. And you learn? Oh, good. Who's the smart guy? Yeah. No date. So, yeah. Double CFM, right? Yeah. Thank you. You're sweet. Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, you want to share this? Yeah, it's on my channel. It's let's see. Clickety click. Go here. You go on my channel and it's called TikTok. So you'll find it there on the Ceiling Fan Man channel. I think it's under videos. So you have to find that. It's in here somewhere. I got lots of videos. A lot of people haven't seen if you're new to me. Some of them are long, some of them are short, but they're I do, but they're all entertaining, I believe. So, but yeah, I don't know. What else do I have? You guys have all seen all these, haven't you? I think there's this one. Have you seen this one? I guess you. So I was reading the Bible the other day, and on closer inspection, certain passages were starting to sound hauntingly familiar. John 6:37, all that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. Psalm 147:3, he healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. Hebrews 13:5, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. I will never cast you out. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Well, that's enough Bible reading for now. Good day.
Satellite tracking continues.
This is what I do for entertainment. By the way, come on, picture go back. These little satellite things where the hand is pulling the string. If you see the very beginning of the show, there's a gentleman that did all kinds of music and stuff. He was one of the first people I met on YouTube, and he did those. He came up with that whole ceiling fan thing that I show with the light chain and all that. And even says his screen name is Peroxide Oxide, I think is how you say it. Anyway, shout out to you if you're still out there listening. But he did all that. And, another thing I'll bring up as long as we're discussing this, me and the mouse in my pocket, is, where is it? This one. I was just, I don't know if he's there tonight, but there's a gentleman over on Rumble, Chris Tommy, and he reminded me again that he created this for me because I used to play it with, it said CBS special, and he changed it. I don't know how, with magic. I don't know, but he created this for me. It was funny because I just happened to look, I look at the comments and stuff, and just happened to see that before I did the show tonight, that he had asked if I remembered that. And yes, I do. And I thank you so much. And there's another person, and they'll chime in if they're listening too, because I forget. It's been so long. But this beginning where the guy slides into the water. That song, it came from them, this person, I can't think of their name, God for me, but forgive me, but I used to do a lot of games, and I needed something. I couldn't play the Jeopardy music because that was copyrighted, and so they sent me, I think it was like 3 or 4 different songs, like thinking time songs, and that was one of them. And I like it, and I've used it ever since. So people have really been overwhelmingly wonderful, and I want to thank you all for that, because you all create the show. Even the chat comments help me steer the show. So is that actually me? True story. So let's see, where are we at? Oh yeah, so you got Rick rolled, right? Too much. Yep. Okay, so where are we at here? Oh, good. You're gonna share it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I can't even watch them when they're like that. I just can't. There's just somebody's face in there for no reason, and so okay. Let's see. Let's finish up some of these tabs, and clickety click. Yeah, so when I talk about that, I feel that revelation happened and stuff. And it's like people say, well, how can you prove it? Well, we weren't there. I can just look at all the evidence of destruction of some of these cities and say something happened to them. Some of them are covered up in mud. Some of them are burnt, melted, destroyed. And so they didn't have iPhones and stuff back then and TikTok. So they drew it. And you'd see artists that are drawing like armies coming out of the sky. I found it interesting too. I've been seeing the online presence lately. If there was one, a famous one several years ago, I think it was in Japan, where it looked like an entire city was there. And I thought I killed the audio there. And people were seeing this in a few different cities. It looked like something in the sky that looked like some type of construction. And if I have that video somewhere, I'll look for it. I shot some weird stuff that my wife and I saw. It looked like another thing in the sky. I'll see if I don't know if I can find it for tonight, but I'll pull it up for next week. But, you know, there's multiple drawings of things. And that, you know, this is obviously Noah's flood description, right? The waters are coming for the first time ever out of the skies. And so, yeah, they this is the way that they were able to get the information through, but very little that we have of it, because we're living in his story, right? If we're living after all of that, then we're in Satan's little season, and he can do whatever he wants at that point to deceive us. That's the whole point of the deception that he does. And I wanted to show this mainly because there's a gentleman in my chat. I don't know if he's here tonight, and his name is Chakma. And I made this video that I was going to show you really quick a year ago. And now I have someone in the chat named Chakma. So you definitely need to see this. I figure out how to present it. I guess like that. Yeah.
The ceiling fans? Very attractive.
There once was a Hebrew man named Chakma. He was born and raised Jewish. Hey, Chakma, you're Jewish. Oh, thanks. He was called Jewish. Hey, you're Jewish. Oh, okay, thanks. One day, Chakma met a man named Jesus over at Home Depot. Don't make anything out of that. It's just where they met. Anyways, Chakma was having a very bad day and complaining more than usual. Jesus offered Chakma some good advice and then told him he should read Psalms in the Bible for some inspiration and comfort. He just so happened to have an extra Bible and gave it to Chakma. As he looked back to thank Jesus, he was gone, most likely to the store because he needed a hedge trimmer line. In the evening, Chakma put on a kettle and sat down for tea and biscuits. And he started to read the Bible. He was fascinated by the story, and he suddenly found he loved reading the Bible. Excited, the very next day, he went and told his friends all about the Bible. Oh, so you're a Christian now. What's that? Someone that believes in Christ. Oh. No. If you're Jewish, then you're a Messianic Jew. Oh, okay. I don't know about any of that. I just think the Bible is true. Oh, so you're a literalist. A what? A literalist. You think everything in the Bible is literal. No, I just think the things in the Bible have happened. Hey, bro, what about the rapture? The what? The rapture. The rapture? Yeah, the church tells me I'll be raptured before the Great Tribulations. Oh. Well, what do you call it? Oh, I'm a pre-tribber. Pre-tribber? Oh, so there are others? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is my brother here. He's a mid-rapture. Hello. And this is my sister here. She's a post-rapture. Hi. Wow. There's a lot of different ways of being raptured. How do you know you're going to be raptured anyways? Oh, because we judged ourselves worthy. Oh. But what if it already happened? Oh, I get it. He's a preterist.
Oh, he's a preterist.
Well, what is that? A preterist. You think all scripture has been fulfilled? Well, I didn't say that. Oh, so you're a partial preterist. I still don't know what that is. I just see a lot of evidence of cataclysmic events around the world. Oh, I see. So you're a nut job. Next, you're going to say the earth is flat. No, but doesn't Scripture support a flat and stationary earth with a firmament? Hey, everyone, this guy's a flat earther. Flat earther? Yeah, he's a flat earther. And after all the names he was called that day, Chakma returned home and read Matthew 5, and once again was comforted by the words of Jesus.
Satellite tracking continues.
Where is he? There he is. What do you think? I played all the parts in that too, by the way. And that's also on my channel. You have to go look for that one. It's called The Wise Man. That's what it's called. So, but yeah. I've learned a lot. Every time I come up with a new idea and mention on this channel, I get a new label. So I can just say, you can call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. And my wife just said dinner's ready. I better start wrapping this up. Okay, wait. We got a few things to finish up here. Oh, I did want to show this guy really well. I'll tell you what. All right. Show it, she says. Okay, fine. Clickety click. Here it is. This kind of interesting take on the rapture, because we're all waiting for like that movie Left Behind, right? Where some people will be taken and some will be left. But actually, does that mean that the people that are going to be taken are being taken away with Jesus? Or potentially the people that are left are covered and protected by Jesus, and the other ones are being taken away somewhere else? I don't know. It just all depends on your perspective. But this gentleman had an interesting perspective about the rapture, not even being a physical thing that, like they're saying. Your dinner's ready too. Okay, Jenny, I'll work on this. Hang on. He thought funny too.
It already happened and it's still happening. It started long before you realized, and you have from now to the end of September to clock in. Now pay attention. When you think of rapture, you think of Jesus appearing in the sky. That's the story we were told in church. But the truth is deeper. Now look at how the script puts it. It says, at the last trump, for the trumpets shall sound. Look around. Who is the president right now? Trump. He is the last trump. He came.
Unless Barron gets in, we'll keep going.
He left, he returned, and that makes him the last trump. Now, connect it to 2025. Put plus in between 2025. Add all of them together. What do you get? The number 9. 9 is the number of endings, end of a cycle, end of illusion, beginning of a new one. When we say rapture, here is the real one. It's not in the sky. It is inside you. Suddenly, you stop reacting. You stop doing a lot of things. You are not the same anymore. You choose peace over being right. Conversations feels empty. Places feels wrong. You crave solitude, silence, and meditation. This is the real rapture. The question is, have you been raptured, or you are still trapped in the old world?
So I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but his interesting take on it is that the rapture could be when you gave yourself to Christ, and when you had that born again moment, whatever they want to call it, label that too, and you were changed. You were changed and raptured at that point. I don't know. It's just another way of looking at things and thinking about it. I'll put this in the chat too. You guys want to ponder over it, but I thought it was an interesting take on it, because that's how I found it. That's ever since that I found faith, I look at the world completely different than I did before. And God calls us out to be separate from the world and not of it. You know, we're in it, but not of it. And so, you know, that is another way of using that word, I guess, potentially to do the separation without actually having the Left Behind movie. But in any case, I threw it in the chat if you want to look at it later. So I don't agree with everything that I see on the internet unless I say it. And then I probably don't agree with that either. Unless I'm that TikTok guy. He agreed with everything I'm saying. I like that guy. But here, something happened that created this scorched event. It's all across the world, the plane, the living space we live on, that you can't explain away unless you use the stories of the Bible where God had wrath poured on the earth and things melted at a temperature that we don't understand, that we can't recreate. But did it happen when? I don't know. Did it happen once or multiple times? I can't tell you. There's multiple times in the Bible that God says he's going to do destruction. Are you not seeing this? Shoot. I'm showing this and only I'm watching it. Idiot. Oh my gosh. I'm discussing something and putting it on the screen and you're not seeing it.
That makes no sense.
I agree. This is silly. Okay. Clickety click. Go here. There. Yeah, now you can see it. Make this make sense on how this happened. And unless you quote the stories of the Bible where God's judgment went through, whether it was all the revelation or multiple times in the Bible, he destroys different cities. We don't know how this stuff got destroyed in the way it did. But the stories they tell us are false. And a lot of them, if they don't look melted, they look scorched, and some are both. And something happened to these things. These were buildings. That I truly believe. Just the way that this is all put together, it doesn't make any sense that they carve it in these ways, like these melted stairwells and stuff. I mean, look at that. It literally looks like something that's got melted away. So, and if you take out God's judgment, what do you have? You don't have anything on the other side of that. This is evidence of judgment that came. And God told us that he left evidence. Why? So we hopefully wouldn't make the same mistakes again. But we seem to be, and here we are, because we're doing all the same mistakes. Our society is stepping so far away from spirituality and God that it's obvious that we are, to me anyways, that we're living in the little season, pizza. Hey, look at that last clip. Let me go back to this thing. Look at this. I mean, I see it. I see that 100% in my mind. It's not random structure that looks identical to that building. This was things that were destroyed through God's wrath at some point in history. And they were left there for us to know it. So we don't repeat it, hopefully. And then here we go. Look how far down the building goes when they did the excavation recently and repair work. Look how far down it goes. But this is the only level we ever see. Same with this. And if you come out to Seattle area, they have a whole city buried beneath the city. And again, that makes no sense. That the city was in such disarray that they covered it with dirt. Where'd they get all the dirt and how'd they move it? And then made it level and then built another on top of that? Makes no sense. None. It's garbage, fake news, as the president would say. What is this one? Somebody sent me this. It's so easy to see it now that there was buildings that we don't understand and they got destroyed in a way that we don't understand. I mean, all the churches in Revelation, I did that video on it, was it last week or so, that they're all gone now. So who were they writing to when they're writing to those churches, the 7 churches? They're all gone. Something destroyed it. Okay. I forgot. We got to finish up before I get to my dinner. There's people that come only for the scary space news. And we've got a lot this week. A lot's been going on.
This week in scary space news.
Okay. This came across, we were watching something and the guy, I think it was an auditor, and he happened to be out in Bloomington, Indiana. And I just found this hilarious that they made a tourist spot that you can come and this is actually the actress that played in Star Trek Voyager. And you can come and see the statue that they erected in this area in Bloomington, Indiana, where this make-believe character that she portrayed on TV grew up and became a starship captain. I'm not making this up. It's the Captain Janeway. Where is it? Come on, Twitter. You're not going to do it for me. There we go. The future birthplace of Captain Catherine Janeway, Bloomington, Indiana, Earth, May 20th, 2336. So I don't know. I just, because, that's the one thing Captain Kirk, the original captain, well, Pike, I guess is real, but the original captain that I grew up with, when they got him at a thing, they said, "What's the difference between space and television?" And he said, "There is no difference." And so I just thought it was funny. But continue on with scary space news. There's a new quantum theory suggesting that darkness still has light in it, proved by that photo of what? I don't know. And then this one. I wish they would do the UFO thing already. I mean, it's getting tiresome. It's such a slow rollout. They're boiling the frog such a little at a time. But so they had this UFO that gets hit by a Hellfire missile, and depending on which news source you read, the UFO keeps going. But to me, it looks like pieces of it shatter off and it got destroyed, whatever this was. But again, all we're watching is like Pong, and they tell us what we're seeing. And so that's going on. We may or may not have shot at and may or may not have shot down a UFO, depending on who you talk to. It either deflected it or it just got destroyed and went into the ocean after that. But we'll never know because that's the only clip they send us. Then you got this happened. And then, of course, the Charlie Kirk thing just took over all the news. But NASA actually came out and finally admitted there's life on Mars. See, David Bowie, you always wondered.
Scientific community that will, in essence, pressure test what we think we've found. So we're talking about Perseverance. This was a mission.
Anyways, he goes on to say that they found biological material, and the only way they're going to know for certain is if we send them more money, and we'll get the Perseverance samples back, and we can test them here on Earth. But yeah, but that got buried because the other stuff going on. But they finally announced it. They announced it on I think it was the 10th. So, but most people never heard that. They were wrapped up in the other news. And then how about this? There's an alien world 40 light years away that's been confirmed to have extremely right conditions for life. So you got Mars that has life. You got this place that's only 40 light years away, which no one knows what that means really. And it has life. And earlier today, we were discussing how life on Earth started, of course, through evolution and primordial ooze and monkeys and humans. And now scientists have decided they found evidence that the original life on Earth was assembled from material in space. So who are the aliens? We're the aliens. We're already here. The alien you're looking for, as Michael Jackson would say, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. So we are the aliens. The primordial soup ingredients showed up here. They say everything came from space. They say the water on Earth came from smashing into a water planet. I wish I was making that up. They are. There's the diamonds on Earth came from a diamond planet. Gold on Earth came from outer space. Everything's from outer space. Now we are too. They'll tell you any lie to keep you from the realization that God is real and you're special. We are the Logos. Is that Legos or logos? Legos. And then there's this. The first known interstellar visitor, Oumuamua, is an exo-Pluto. Completely new class of objects, scientists say. Seriously, why would you name this? Oumuamua. My friend, the witch doctor, he told me what to say. He said, Oumuamua. Anyway, so that thing is out there. It's a fragment of an ice planet. And that's coming to crash into us eventually. But they've never seen anything like it before. And then you got this, which is Atlas 31, or 31 Atlas, as it's known on the street. And I don't know if you heard about this thing, but now it's saying that it's hurtling through the solar system with bizarre actions. It's potential alien. Why do they automatically think it's hostile? I mean, I know every movie always presents the aliens as hostile, but could it not be maybe hostile? But in any case, so it's moving and it's changing and it's growing a tail and changing directions. And most recently, it was red and now it's green. So I don't know what that means. It's fully charged and it's ready to come at you. I don't know. But that's happening. Whatever this threat is now green. Go green. I don't know. And then, of course, astronomers have discovered a new world at the edge of the solar system. We can really see far out now. And don't forget, Pluto actually has the dog Pluto's head right there because they mock us. And discovered the same year as Pluto was created as the cartoon. But there's a new Neptunian object. And anyways, so that's out there. We just found that with our giant telescopes. Look, this is crazy. Within 24 hours, all those news stories I told you happened. That the UFO got hit. This thing went from red to green. We found life on Mars, provably so, finally. And of course, this. That all happened in the same day. It's been quite a week. And people really got exhausted with it. It was a very emotional week, regardless of how you feel. But I do want to, I thought this was interesting. These are the questions. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to believe the things that I'm saying. Look into them yourselves. And so some of these questions, maybe you can answer. But some of them, like, why is there an Egyptian pyramid on the US dollar? Why did 56 countries sign a treaty, even the ones that hate each other, not to do anything in Antarctica to save the penguins or whatever? Planes don't fly. They can say some of them do. The flat earth planes do. But regardless, they don't fly usually over Antarctica. NASA lost the photos of the moon landing. They lost all the telemetry data. They lost all of it. And if Neil Armstrong was the first to walk on the moon, who held a camera? Of course, now they're saying it was on some kind of like tripod that came off of the ship or something. It makes no sense. Suddenly it's there taking the video. I never saw a camera hooked at the end of how did it get out there? It wasn't there when they landed. But yeah, we get to see him walk on the moon. Who was the cameraman? Why haven't we gone back yet? I mean, we did it so many times in the 60s and early 70s. Now we can't do it anymore. And here we go. The monkeys again. I just said, maybe this is where I read that. You know what? I won't take credit for that, but it is interesting. If monkeys evolved into humans, why are there still monkeys? So I like that one. 95% of our DNA, they say, is junk. Who decided that? Right? How are huge, symmetrical, detailed, sacred, and geometrically rectangular structures such as cathedrals, parliamentary buildings, created by people who lived in log cabins, rode horse-drawn carriages, and had no machines or lasers? How is it the similar pre-Columbian architecture is found all over the world? Why are there images of ancient Egyptian art that resemble spaceships? Why are there remains and images of giant people found? And why do different ancient scriptures from various cultures, including the Bible, talk about giants? Why are there images of mushrooms in ancient Chinese art? And why did the Pope dress up like a giant Amida muscaria mushroom? That one I didn't even know until I read this thing. I have to look that up. Should we look that up? I'll look that up. Muscaria mushroom. Wow, it's one of those things. Why is the Pope dressed? I don't think the Pope looks like that. What am I missing? All right. Well, for now, I'll take that one off the list. Why do Egyptian artwork show jaws and it's a coincidence the pineal gland resembles jaws? I don't know about this one either. Let's see. Why are there descriptions of dragons all over the world in different cultures, thousands of years apart, and also mentioned in the Bible? Why is there so much blatant satanic symbolism in the music and entertainment industry? Why do most video games revolve around killing? How is it possible that movies and cartoons like The Simpsons can predict certain culture events accurately? Why do forest fires melt cars and leave trees intact? What's the national debt? If there's a borrower, there must be a lender. Who is it? How's the national debt increased despite tax increases? Where do the taxpayers' money go? We know that. It goes to other countries, right? Why is alcohol and tobacco poisoning considered normal and referred to as drinking and smoking? And alcohol and tobacco are shown on almost all shows and movies, yeah. How do news presenters around the world on various channels say and repeat the same script? We've all seen that, hopefully. And if we're more progressive and informed than ever before, why do we have the highest rate of obesity, cancer, heart disease, not to mention depression? So I thought those are some thought-provoking questions, and hopefully you'll use some of those in discussions. All right, that's that mushroom. And every civilization other than NASA believes this. And we're supposed to say, well, they're stupid, and we're way more smarter now and more intelligent with our technology and stuff. You don't know how your iPhone works, but it works. Meanwhile, all these people who We're building buildings that we can't even understand. They all believe the biblical earth. Even the Mayans, which no longer exist, they know how long or have an end. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. This didn't make national news, but there's people in a church that came outside and were singing to God.
Nigga, where is channel 2 at and channel 4 at when they really supposed to be reporting something, bro? Listen, look at this, bro. This is in the middle of Highland Park, bro, on Woodward. They doing praise and worship, bro. All these people on the steps, bro. They ain't worried about none of y'all. They know God got them. You're not about to come get them off these steps. None of that. This is the most gangster display I seen in the city. I don't care about your Dracos or none of that, bro. They out here in the middle of Woodward, bro. Deep like this, repping for God.
And it's nice because a lot of them are young people too. So, and look at that old Tartarian building or whatever behind them. So it's just nice to see, because as the world fills with fear about everything and everyone, God tells you to have no fear. It's that in the Bible more than anything, it seems like. And because if God's with you, no one can pry out of his hand. I mean, if he has you, he has you. And so there's no weapon they could kill the body, but not the soul. And in these times that we find ourselves, where the televised vision is constant fear about everything, and all the stories are horrible, we have to understand that if we have that, once we make that connection and we feel God's presence, he said he's going to pour his spirit out in these times. And so as long as we're seeing all the negative stuff in the world, let's take a moment to reflect on the things that we do see, where we see God's spirit being poured out, where more and more people are at least questioning the world that we live in and who's running it, and questioning spirituality. I don't want to say religion. We covered that earlier tonight. I hate labels. I've gotten so many labels, it doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm a child of God. All of you are. All of us are. Some of us have recognized that and made that connection again. And the rest of us either are deceived or we're fighting it. And so, if anything I've said tonight, if you take that moment, if you're struggling, if you're in turmoil, if your heart is hurting, if you're depressed, if you're sick, if you feel like the world's coming down on you and you don't see a way out of it and it's crushing down on you, please, I beg you to take time tonight when there's no one around and sit down and head to the floor if you feel like it. But just tell God, throw it all out there and say, dear Lord, I can't take it. It's overwhelming. It's crushing me. I don't know how to get through this. I need you now, right now. And he says he's at the door waiting for you to answer it. And so if you knock, he opens and comes and has sup with you. That's his way of saying, I'm going to have dinner with you. He calls it sup. But that's what I did. And it worked for me. And I know it'll, sometimes your cat may vary, but on this, it's not gonna. And if you sit down with a true heart, he's not a magic genie. I have one of those down there. He's not a magic genie. He reads your heart. And if you come at it with like childlike eyes and say, I need your help, Lord, he'll come and he'll help you. And then you'll make the same connection. And that's where the Spirit of God is being poured out. And more people are taking that first step to try, not in religion, just on your own. And if you can do that tonight, then I've done my job tonight. So I guess that's it. I want to thank everybody that's been here tonight. Went 2.5 hours plus, and I think we covered a lot of territory. And please don't let yourself be troubled to the things that are going on in the world. Put your trust in God. It's a leap of faith. It's not a gentle step off the curb, but you'll be amazed on how much comfort and joy that you get. And not to say you're not going to get troubles. I mean, we're all supposed to get some type of tribulations. That's just how this works. And just because I found God or he found me doesn't mean that I have smooth sailing. We had one heck of a week this week, not just on what YouTube showed us and TikTok and all that, but in our personal lives too. And, even like all that soap going missing, that kind of stuff. But just know that we're all in this together. We'll get through it together. And if I could give you encouragement, let's end with a prayer and say, Dear Father in heaven, please continue to guide us through these times and watch over us. Bring down your comfort and your mercy as you've promised to us. There's times that we feel that we can't get through whatever it is that's coming at us. There's times that we feel that we'll never make it. And in those times, and right now, we ask that you show us the way, you do it for us, or you carry us through it until we can get out on the other side. And so we can have more of your comfort and joy throughout our lives. And we can spread the gospel and help others see the wonderfulness that we feel when we feel the love of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. So my dinner is ready. I'm going to go eat. But first you get this.
Class is dismissed.
Okay. So let's do this again, God willing. Same bad time, same bad channel. And that's bat, not bad. And so next you get the song. But again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone that supports us, not just in the financial ways and the memberships and all that stuff and the letters, and just hitting the like button does so much to help other people find us. So having said that, thank you again. Wish you all have a wonderful evening and weekend, and God bless you all. We'll see you soon. Good night.
I'm the satellite. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.